you unmute me? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Now I can hear you. Can you hear me now? Please?
Yes, I can hear you. Mr. Odeh Addison is the president of BARCO here in diaspora. You are welcome to the program today, sir.
Thank you very much for having me.
Tell us more about your organization. I know that you are campaigning, you and your group members are campaigning for the return of Benin Artefacts.
Very much. Yes, we are campaigning for the unconditional repatriation of all the Benin artifacts that was unlawfully taken during and after the invasion of Benin in 1897. And we heard about other conditions as one of our members who has been speaking, Mr. Comrade Izedua, Maso Izedua, happened to be a very strong member of BARCO. We have made a lot of inroad by trying to contact people who are concerned. We have met the head of European Union here in Germany, and we've told them how we feel and what our intention is. That is to return the whole Benin artifacts back to Benin Kingdom, where they were all looted from. Because these Benin artifacts are not in one place, and they are all over the world. I'm happy Mr. Emma Swen made mention of it during his presentation, that there were over 161 countries. And we are trying to see, those are the one probably in museum, because we know many of them are in private hands, in institutions. And we have to make sure all of them are documented, and we continue our struggle to make sure the artifacts are returned home. So far, as he was saying about the condition of returning, in which the British government and the British, not only British government, I think it's the British Museum, National Museum, and other international museums, they have a kind of a platform they set up. And this thing was in collaboration with the Edo State government, and it has been backed by the governor, His Excellency, Governor of Edo State, His Excellency, Godwin Obaseki. And that group is called Benin Dialogue. And to our information, before BARCO, that is Benin Artifacts Repatriation Campaign Organization, the information before us is that they will be leased back to Benin. And the British will help Edo people sponsor a museum, which is going to be called a Royal Museum. And this museum, we accommodate all these Benin artifacts. And then it will be leased. Not only Benin artifacts, European will bring some of their artifacts there. And so we contacted our governor. Till now, we've not received a reply from him, but for the reason that, okay, I'm not going to put this reason here, but we're still waiting for his response. His response is not to explain to us what happened. We are requesting an audience so that we'll meet him and tell him we will not agree to it. I personally met the Commissioner of Art and Culture in 2019 in Benin with BARCO. We traveled there, we met the commissioner, and we told the commissioner that the position of BARCO is clear, that BARCO is not going to accept any condition that will lease Benin artifacts to Benin people, because we gave reason that you can never lease what you stole from people back to the people, because doing so, they will have copyright over those things, and they will give condition on how long they're going to lease it. So I remember then the commissioner telling me, no, just wait, please, let them bring it first. I told him, no, you are preparing for another war. Under international law, how possible will it be to bring in first? When they're already there, then you will now withdraw your signature of what you're trying to do. I told him it is not going to be possible. It might take 100 years to bring these things back. It might be on my behalf. After my death, I don't care. But we have to start doing it now and making it clear that we will never accept condition of leasing attached to it. This thing was not sold. If it was sold, we are buying it, they can bring conditions. If this thing were given as a gift, they can give conditional to it. If it was stolen by our people and taken over there, they could give condition. But they physically came down, destroyed our kingdom, destroyed our people, killed our people. According to my father, he said, blood flow in Benin like water. So houses were burned down. Palaces were completely burned down. Before all those things were all stolen, thousands of them. So still giving condition today that this thing is going to be returned on condition that we are leasing it to you. Not only an insult, it's a big slap on our face. And we will not accept it. That is the position of BARCO. And we're making it clear we will not accept it. And we are very optimistic that these artifacts will come back home. I am very happy now, very, very happy. My heart is filled up with joy that the awareness we are creating is really generating positive response. And this is BARCO that started like a joke. Now we are sitting here today talking, and a lot of people are hearing us, and a lot of people have been hearing us, a lot of platforms have interviewed us, and we are making headway. We just want every Benin person, every Black person, every white person, every human being that believes in true justice to join our cause, because these things was, I don't want to use hard language, it still hurts us today. And the consequence of what happened in 1897 is still very negative in our lives today. So I believe bringing these artifacts will only help us bring joy. The only positive thing these artifacts has created is that it is now through our campaign exposing to all Black people all over the world that Africans were not in bush, as it was being portrayed that these things, they were all taken from somewhere in the bush. No, we were civilized. We did it ourselves. We have our engineers, we have our scientists, we have our researchers who physically did these things. And we have facilities that store them, that preserve them. So if we see all these things, it will be difficult to make the argument that Africans were in bush, or rather Africa did not contribute to humanity. That is not correct. So we are using this platform, we are using our BARCO platform to educate people and to put pressure on these people who had them to bring them back and to dramatize to the world that we own it.
Thank you, sir. So you have, I know that you have many other members in the BARCO organization. So right now, what is the progress of this group? Have you been able to contact the British government?
Thank you very much. Directly, no. Because of some of the legal aspect we're trying to avoid, we don't want to be like a child that is dancing in a compound owned by the father, and the father doesn't know what is happening. So though we contacted the British Museum, and we told them our intention that we will want those things to be returned home just on a normal agitator. And we formed before we did that, we formed the Odeh Commissioner of Art and Culture about it. It was aware, though it's no more there now, the commissioner. And we contacted the Nigerian embassy in Berlin. That's because I'm in Germany here. I went there with BARCO. We met the ambassador, and we told our ambassador as well. And we're still going there now. Anytime from now, we're still going to meeting, because we want a Nigerian government, though they are aware now, we want them to give us a strong backing before we continue with our agitation. Because what we're trying to do is to liaise with those state government and the federal government. Then we get to the British. We don't have the capacity now to physically write a letter to the British demanding for this. We are only agitating that these things should be returned. So the arrangement then with the commissioner then was that we will join the Benin Dialogue Group to continue the negotiation, but that has not happened because of COVID-19. So what we are doing is to make sure we have our government behind us and some of the groups all over the world, and especially Africans all over the world, to back us. And then we are just doing these orientation programs at the moment.
Thank you. Thank you for all what you are doing under the BARCO organization. You know, so all of us are agitating, we are advocating for the return of the Benin artifacts back to Benin. I've done several videos discussing about these artifacts as well. For those who have been following me on Nebo TV, mostly the recent issue about the British government planning to lend us our own artifacts, because their plan is to bring those artifacts, exhibit them in this proposed museum in Edo State, where it will be generating a kind of income for them. These are the artifacts that were stolen from our kingdom. So they are going to loan us our own artifacts. I think I discussed about these artifacts like twice so far. And the last one I did, the video went viral. I saw people sharing the video on WhatsApp as well. So sometimes when you discuss about this, you get emotional for this oppression. It's just too obvious. Just imagine in 21st century, the artifacts that they stole from us, they are planning to loan us back those artifacts again. It's unacceptable in 21st century. So thank you, sir, for what you are doing for the campaign of the return of Benin artifacts.
Mr. Odeh, I do have a question for you. I have a follow-up question for Mr. Odeh.
Okay, go ahead.
Like it said, sir, Domo, it's a pleasure to meet you. One of the questions that I wanted to ask is, when you were talking, you talked about this fight might not be one that you'll be here to see come to pass, but either ways, you'd keep fighting. That touched my heart, because I feel like there's a disconnect between the youth and our elders, in the sense that those people that are fighting for our rights, those people that are fighting for especially artifacts to be returned, I think, however, that we have to bridge the gap for communication so that we that are younger are aware of the fights that you're putting on and be ready to take up whatever is left and go with that fight. If you don't mind, please tell me what BARCO stands for and what it's about. What is the membership, and how many youths do you have? And then lastly, is there a petition out there to the British signed by citizens of Nigeria or Edo State per se that are strongly fighting for these artifacts to be returned? Like, have they considered writing a petitions that will be sent across the world to citizens, to people whose ancestors are from Edo State, people that are willing to put their signature to it and say, we want it returned, like you said, unconditionally? Those are my questions for you, sir.
Beautiful questions, Sasari. Thank you.
Yes, I just want to comment before I start. Like you said, sir, Domo, sir. A thingy fool where we win it in Macmama Marowe. Maybe do here Mario Boyo. Now, near a diary or a mammy banana. All I need to do here is to applaud Ika, commend him for all he's doing, and just to let him know that we, the Edo people, from the Edo descendants, we are solemnly behind you in this fight, because this is what our fathers fought for. Unfortunately, they are not here today, and they have handed over that baton to us to carry on. Like you said, you might not be here when these things will be returned, but yet you still want to make sure that you've lent your voice, you've done your part, and then you hand over to the next generation. We must commend you, sir. With all this going on, how can the younger generation be part of this struggle? Because it seems like there's still a number of people that don't even know what this whole thing is all about, what the fight is all about. What do we need to do to make sure that every Edo person every Nigerian, because this is not even about Edo State, as far as I'm concerned. It's about Nigeria and Africa at large. This is an injustice done to the Edo people, to Nigerians and Africans at large. So how do we all begin to join in this cycle? Because the more the merrier, the more voices out there, the more noise being made. I think we'll be able to get this done.
Yeah, the first question, to my understanding, was from Sister Osaseri. Concerning the membership, yes. Presently, we're very conscious of the people that are running our WhatsApp group, because our WhatsApp group is the platform, is the administrative platform, which Sister Nekme herself is a member, and Zedua too is a member, and we want every one of you people to come in there who can contribute. And then we have a WhatsApp page, which is unlimited with numbers. Anybody can go in there, and time with time, Sister Nekma will be put it on her platform so that everybody can connect with us. For the youth, the people we have there, we don't really have per se people who are under 30. We are matured mind, but we don't have age limit. So anybody who is over 18 can join us, provided that person know exactly what we are all about. And because we are very conscious in the way we handle things, the group is very special, the language you use and everything, because our ambassador too appealed to us strongly here that while we are agitating, we should respect the people who own our properties. We don't want to go into confrontational line with them. So that is so far on us.
Yeah. I asked before if there was a petition out there for Nigerians as citizens to sign, or descendants of the Great Benin Kingdom to sign, and put it out there that we're holding the British accountable to say you must and you will return these artifacts that we're talking about, because these are steals from war and it has to be returned. I wanted that answered. Thank you, sir. Where's it, sir?
Thank you very much. We've not done that. It was proposed one time by one of our members that we should do it. So what stopped us then was we have to contact our palace first. So that particular time we have to put up a letter to our palace, informing our palace what we should do. And then myself, I have to travel to Nigeria. Unfortunately, during COVID-19, I was able to meet him. So we've not done that, and we are working seriously to do it. So we will not do it now anyway until our next visit to our ambassador here in Germany, because we want whatever we are doing, that the Nigerian government is behind us and our palace is behind us, and then all Edo people will be free to stand behind us. Yeah.
Listen, what's it, sir? Domo, sir. Thank you for answering that.
I have one question. I have one question, sir. Don't you think Nigerian government will be able to advocate for the return of these artifacts from Britain instead of individual?
A very beautiful.
Yes.
A very beautiful question.
Yeah.
Very, 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 very beautiful question. The problem here is that on a diplomatic level, you are more powerful than Nigerian government. I heard somebody asking my brother Ezedua, a member of BARCO, this question before. The whole thing is this: the question was that how is the present day after colonization and the old days? He couldn't see any difference, and I couldn't see any difference either. So it is we the people, I make it clear, it is we the Edo people that feed our pains. Remember, we were a country of our own, and this country was destroyed. So you don't expect a strange country, as he said before, Mr. Ezedua, that they get hand over us to a government led by the Fulanis, the Igbo, and the Yoruba. You don't expect these people, I'm not trying to disrespect them, you don't expect them to move forward if we don't move. So it is we now that is going to cry. A lot of people keep asking me here. I know people in Europe. Of course, thousands. So make our voice loud. Then the Nigerian government will listen to us. There is a last interview I did with a GNTV, GH or whatever, recently in Abuja. Then they went and contacted Nigerian, after that interview I did, they went and confronted the Nigeria Museum if they have the facility to keep the artifacts. They agree, yes, that the chairman, national chairman, agree that we've not taken this campaign seriously before. But now we have to take it serious. Why? Because they know now that people like BARCO, they are agitating, so they can't pull back anymore. That is why we are using this ambassador and this miss. The next one is for the ambassador to contact the Nigerian Ministry of Art and Culture to give us an audience that we Edo people, we want this thing back. If we don't do it, I don't think anybody will do it for us.
Okay, yeah. It's okay. I'm sorry. I will bring you to the screen. I want to quickly just say this. You know, a few years ago, Osemige Ebohon, a renowned Benin historian, said he was planning to sue Britain to world courts for the stealing of Benin artifacts or the looting of Benin artifacts during the British punitive expedition. However, the Oba of Benin at that time, Oba Erediawa, disagreed with him, saying that it would be better for them to use dialogue with the British government instead of suing them to world courts. So don't you think that the monarch has more power to dialogue with Britain than individual Edo citizen?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Whatever we are doing, BARCO, we're not doing it as if we are BARCO, we have the power to do things. No. Whatever we are doing it for our kingdom. We are doing it on behalf of our Oba. That is why we BARCO decided that whatever we are doing, we must report to him. We are not back again. Yeah. We are not asking for his permission to do whatever we are doing because we don't want to implicate him in anything. He's our king, but we have the right to be reporting to him. So if this pressure we are building, if we continue to mount on the British and the museum who kept those things, then it will make room for our Oba to negotiate freely, because every stamp, every signature for the return of these artifacts should be signed by the government and should be signed by the government and our palace. So our own, we are not going to sign any signature. The artifact is not coming to me. It's not coming to any member of BARCO. It's going to the palace. It's going to a Edo state. But the thing why we are doing this thing, but it isn't.
Okay, it's okay. Go ahead and ask your question.
Thank you so much, sir. I do understand the fact that yes, we need to go into some kind of dialogue, but because of the times and season that we are now, we can attest to the fact that most of the changes that we're beginning to see, for those of us in North America, we can tell you that Black Lives Matters did spark a lot of changes here in North America.
Yeah.
And I think that if all Edo persons get involved in what we're doing now and begin to agitate for the return of these artifacts, come out in our numbers to start to begin to put out petitions, if we have to go out for protest, whatever we need to do to lend our voice to this struggle and make sure the whole world is aware of what is going on, I can almost guarantee that we will see tremendous change towards this thing, because it's like everybody's trying to, just pull their feet, go slowly and say we are doing this, we are doing that. But we can tell with what Black Life Matters, when it sparked in the US, it went around the whole world. There's so many people that are just really waiting for us to take this struggle out there to the space where they can, join us in the struggle. But if we don't, nobody. And the younger ones, a lot of the younger ones don't really know what is going on, I must confess. So my question initially was, how do we begin to get the younger ones to understand what this the struggle is all about, what these artifacts mean to them? Because what you don't know, you don't have respect for. Yes, they just hear artifacts, but they don't know the significance of that to their culture, to their heritage, to their being as a human being, because they're part of the Edo lineage. So they cannot run away from it. Those artifacts are part of our history and part of who we are as a people. So for me, I would suggest that we have a website. I would suggest that we take this conversation to the space where the younger ones are, like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all the space where the younger ones are very, very active. Begin to get them to start the conversation, and we'll be amazed how far we'll go with this struggle.
Interesting. According to my understanding, you said we are not loud enough in our advocacy. We are not loud enough. Yeah, I agree with you. I
can totally agree with Auntie Soken, Mommy. And this is because the present day, you would not believe. I'm going to use the power of social media and give a shout out to Edo Vibes on Clubhouse. If you come there, you will find thousands of Edo people. In that group of Edo people, you will find strong Benin people that are on that app, building and pushing for a one Edo, building and pushing for how we can move Edo State forward. Again, I give a strong shout out to Edo Vibes. It is impressive how they've been able to round up thousands of people all over the world through social media for one vision only: move Edo forward. I kid you not, it will be amplified if we can take it to the next level. Because you have youths that are smart, that are educated, that are ready to go with you, that are ready to see this to the run. And especially living in the 21st century where technology is the ideal type of living. You have people who they are so vast in technology that this message will spread like wildfire if you just turn your attention to the youth and to what they can bring to the table. Thank you.
Actually, what you just said, we've been doing it. We've not got our website anyway. We have Instagram, we have Twitter handle, we have a Facebook page. We have all these things already. It's only website. We are working very hard to get the website set up. But mind you, most of all these things we are doing, basically, we're doing it, whatever you're doing, you need money to do it. So what we're doing so far is from our purse anyway. I'm personally financing, traveling, programs, whatever we are, whatever we are visiting, museum, I am financing it personally. I thank God that I'm doing it. I'm doing it with joy. The whole thing is this: we know when we started anyway. A lot of people will tell us artifacts is juju. They don't want to hear. They don't want it. Is juju. So, but we have been able now to tell people no. Artifacts is not juju. It's a piece of art that our people labor to create. It has nothing to do with sacrifice. Absolutely. Because this is where the whole miseducation, misinformation came all about. That our people, to the extent that if you give a Benin name to somebody now, they will tell you that you are an unbeliever. So this is the area we are. So we're trying to change this narrative that no, Benin Artefacts has nothing to do with whether you are Christian or religion. It got to do with our artifacts and our culture, our values. And we are trying again to let them know that bringing this thing home It will create jobs. Because if we bring this home and our place become a place again where people come to study, where people come to visit, then our people will get money out of it. We create jobs for people. So we are doing these things, but how do we do it? We need to be meeting program. Like I'm happy now, TV Nebo, our sister, is a member. She's doing this thing now freely. We just discussed it in our last meeting that we're going to, when I go to Benin anytime from now, I have to put money on different TV to encourage our people, encourage them to educate our people. We need support for this. So we're doing it, but we can't do it alone. So we're only, it's slow. I'm very happy it's slow, and I agree. It is slow because we don't have the capacity. The last year, the protest we did in Kiel was sponsored by one Osaze Anyayo is in Benin currently. He organized this, spent all his money to do it, and BARCO was given a chance to deliver a speech there. So we are doing need on our own capacity, but we at the time continue to expand. We believe we will get support financially because there is, like you just talk about, this group we just talk about now. We have a sister who is Dr. Osagede, is in the US. She is organizing all these things, clubhouse, or what the sister Isera was saying. He is saying that she's going to escalate things there because some of our youth, they just see this thing as artifacts, juju. But we have to really work on it and educate them. No, this thing is not juju, it's Benin values.
And that's 100%. But to debunk that, a vast majority of us young people are aware. We literally had this conversation yesterday on Clubhouse. Again, shout out to Edo Vibes. They come prepared. They come ready to bring facts, to bring information. We don't peddle conspiracy theories. We just come at it. We come at it with the information we've earned from our grandfathers, our fathers, our mothers, our scholars, our historians, and we're ready. And if you see the passion when people start talking about it, not just only moving Edo forward, but trying to get these artifacts back, trying to put us back on the map, trying to get us re-respected, trying to get us re-recognized, because we're one of the oldest empire in history.
Who are these Edo Vibe members?
I will make a connection between you and them. I have so much respect for them. They are a bunch of young people like me who are driven, are passionate about Edo, and is passionate about our cultures as well.
Where are the members? The members are all over the world, or just?
Yeah, we're all over the world. We all meet on an app called Clubhouse, and we have Ottawa where we have Ikubiyokowa. We have like sessions, and then we have informative session about Benin Museum, about moving Edo State forward, about moving, the culture, showcasing the culture in the whole spectrum. Yeah, I would make sure that I connect you to them. Powerful set of people.
Oh, okay, that's a good one. And there's one discussion about these artifacts. Okay, as a custodian of Benin history and culture in diaspora, I've studied a lot. I've been doing research for the past few months about Benin history, focusing only on the Benin history. So, going back to the artifacts, what happened lately? People were saying that we have many artists in Edo State, in Benin, to be precise, that we can replicate those artifacts that were stolen by the British armies during the war.
I know that the past year they have all these other social media handles like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. With all due respect, maybe so much is not done on those platforms, because if a lot is done on those platforms, trust me, all it takes is just one person to have the crowd, have the information, know where to put this information, and it will spark the conversation. So even though we have those platforms running right now, I think a lot is not being done with those platforms. That's all I can say with that.
Right. You said it before that we are not loud enough in our advocacy. We need to push more harder. But
we cannot testify to what the power of social media did to NSAS. We were not in Nigeria. but just because it was put on the right platforms, and the whole world took it on. So there's power in social media. There's power in it. We just need to know how we're using these things to get the information out there for the people that really need it. Trust me, everybody's ready.
We are using this medium today to also give awareness to our people that it is time for us to make our voice more louder in advocating for the return of Benin artifacts. So, Sasere, want to say something? Go ahead.
I wanted to respond to what you talked about. I'm sorry. I wanted to respond to what you talked about, recreating these artifacts, and why can't we just recreate it? We will recreate it, but it would not be the exact same value as the original one. It's like saying Pablo Picasso, Vincent van Gogh, Claude Monet, all of the original works are worth a fortune compared to the whatever it is that was recreated. It doesn't have the same value. I see no reason why. It is our artifacts, but they say, oh, just recreate it. We will recreate it. We know who our ancestors are. We will recreate it, but give us what is rightfully ours. Give us back what is rightfully ours. We want it back. You have made wealth, you have enriched yourself out of the suffering and the backs of people who created it, people whose generation are still very much alive. Give us what is rightfully ours. We have the capacity to keep it. We will invest into keeping it, making sure that it is secured, making sure that it is well taken care of. So there's no conversation as to whether we can recreate it or not. Yes, we can, and yes, we will. But we want what is ours rightfully given back to us.
Okay.
I think that's why I stand on that.
Oh yeah, I understand you. You know what happened years ago in 1977 during the FESTAC was organized in Nigeria. So you know that Nigerian government negotiated for the Idia mask to be returned back to Benin for a kind of an emblem for the festival, but the British Museum denied them of these artifacts. What happened? They requested for £2 million from Nigerian government in order for them to borrow us our own artifacts that was stolen from Benin Kingdom during the war. They demanded for £2 million. Yes, sir.
Okay. The issue of creating a replica, let me just talk about that. It is not about we creating new ones. At least we have the ability to create new ones. No, it is about our identity. Artifacts is about our identity. So they have it all over the world, and that is the positive aspect of what they did to us. That is the only positive aspect of what they did to us, because it's all over the world. As I said earlier, that the head of European, when we met them in 2019, they were asking, do people really many here? So we have to dramatize to the world, and that is what we are doing. We are still structuring, BARCO is structuring, to tell the world that these artifacts, number one, it belongs to these people, and these people are not bush people. We are human beings, and we live with them. So we have to, first of all, identify ourselves with these artifacts. That people who are just seeing it in a museum, they actually know that people owns this thing, and these people were not exterminated. They are still alive. That is number one. Okay, so let me go back to this identity issue. Then we now go back to the last question about the 4 million you are talking about. That, as I said before, there is a group called Benin Dialogue Group. This Benin Dialogue Group has been the group who has been negotiating so far. But one of the members, because of COVID-19, we've not been able to visit her. She's in Hanover, Nida Zassin. She's the one representing that state. She said in her comment, not a comment, in her presentation, she wrote that this Benin Dialogue negotiation between European Museum and African Museum is done every year under a cup of coffee. After that, European put it inside their cupboard, lock it up, and they are waiting for next year again when they will resume. So they did all these things, nothing happens. And people come over to stay wherever they are doing. The last one last year supposed to be in London, which BARCO is supposed to be a member. Then everybody sit down, discuss whatever they want to discuss, then go home again. Europeans just laugh at us. So that is why we created BARCO, that this laughing at us is not going to happen again. We will continue to agitate, we will continue to expand, we will continue to educate our people, because this thing is about voice. We are in a democratic world. The more we have members, the more we see Edo people probably demonstrating in London. Like Sister Isoka was talking about Black Lives Matter. Why did Black Lives Matter become important? When it started, it was, they just look at it as a noisemaker, but they continue to generate. Look at the one on his knee. The guy that started standing on his knee, taking knee, he was even expelled from his club. He was completely isolated. But what happened? He kept on. For today, it become a hero. So we have to continue. The first thing is for Edo people, forget whatever the government is signing. We just forget whatever the government is signing. But by the time we, the people, will continue to make our voice heard everywhere, saying we don't want this thing, bring this artifacts to us, they will listen. They will have power. Because presently they don't have power.
Thank you. Thanks to everyone that attended to this program. Imaswa Izodua, Fasa Hassan, King Schumann, Lola Tweet, Osasere, everybody that attended to this program, thank you so much for making the program a successful one. Lucy Roots, we learned something about Zimbabwe today. Mr. Michael Odeh, thank you so much.